Hello, Matt here. For those who watch my videos, all 13 of you subscribers, you will notice that this is not my normal motorbike. No, this is a 2007 Triumph Sprint ST 1050. On the weekend I recently got my full open motorcycle license, and as a part of that, as a part of that, my boss, my new boss, said to me, Matt, when you get your license, you know, since you'll be looking around and you're not sure what bike you're going to buy, take mine for a ride. So yesterday when I went down to the Department of Transport and got my license, sure enough, he went out and said, Matt, here's the keys, take it home, have some fun, let me know what you think of it. So that was kind of cool, nice of him. Thanks, Paul, much appreciated. So what I thought I might do is do a quick review on the Sprint ST. This was one of the many motorbikes I was looking at, or I am looking at to buy. So this is not going to be a one-sided review. This is going to be very much, this is what I don't like about it personally, and this is what I do like about it. You know, so Paul, if you're watching, it's not having to go at your bike, dude. It's just how I, you know, what I'm looking for in a bike, really. So yeah, so it's a 1050cc, 3-cylinder, about 100 and I think it's 125 horsepower, which, you know, doesn't seem like a whole lot for a leader bike, but it has got about 85 newton meters torque, which is quite nice. This is a very, very torquey engine in the triple, and it's very nice to ride. It's super smooth to ride. What do I like? So what do I like about this bike? It's super smooth. It is really nice. But then again, I'm pretty sure everything I'm ever going to ride is going to be smoother than the single cylinder of the CBR. So no, I'm just getting used to that. But you know, all bikes are actually quite nice, and they're not as rough as guts like my bike is. This has got probably one of the comfiest seats I've sat on. I've ridden a couple of other super sports bikes. This is one of the comfier ones in the way of in the way of the saddle. You are in a not overly aggressive position, but you are in an aggressive position. You're definitely still leaning forward. It's probably as aggressive as, or maybe a little tiny bit more aggressive than my CBR. For those people that want to know what it's like, the pegs are a little bit further back. But overall, I mean, if you're, you know, depending on how used you are to riding and depending on how lazy you are, I mean, if you're super lazy like me, I know people go out and say, oh, you've got to grip the tank and you hold yourself up with your back and with your like, you know, back muscles and stuff actually hold you up. So I'm a real lazy prick. I'll just lay on my wrists, and so if you do that, it does. It's 100%. It's, you know, you are forward. So no, I don't know. That's all I can say about that. But it's got really nice instrumentation. I rode it at night last night. It lights up really nice. If you can see the instrumentation, it lights up all white on the left-hand two dials, so your speedo and your tacho light up white, which is nice and clear. And then on the right, there's a full digital readout, which is just your odometer and your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge and all that stuff. And that lights up a cool blue colour, which is nice and easy to read, even as the sun's going down. Look, it's an awesome looking bike. I reckon it's one of the sexier bikes on the market. I know not many people will agree with that. There's a lot of people that say it's not very nice. I mean, that's what I've read in the reviews. Well, that's what I've watching a couple of YouTube videos, people going out and saying, oh, we don't really like the looks, it's not the nicest bike in the world. So, I mean, and looks are very much a personal thing, so I think it's quite nice. I think it looks quite, you know, it's pretty good looking. Again, after getting off the CBR, that was a tiny little bit of throttle, and I mean, it's a 1000cc bike, and it goes, it really goes. But yeah, it looks, back to the looks, I think it looks quite nice. This one's like a maroony colour on one that Paul owns. It's got some nice features, I guess you'd call them. It's got integrated indicators in the mirrors. It's got a nice undertail exhaust. It's got a single-sided swing arm, which and I'm pretty sure most people would like the look of a single-sided swing arm. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's a nice bike to ride. I mean, I can't fault it from that point of view. It wants to turn into corners a lot more than what my CBR does. I mean, it really wants to turn into corners. It's very, for a big bike, and it's 240 kilos, I think. For a big bike, it really likes to get into the corners. Up through the mountains of Canungra yesterday afternoon when I was riding home, it was very, oh shit, wet roads. It was very nice up through the mountains. I mean, it's not my bike, so I'm not gonna, and it's the first time on it, so I wasn't gonna absolutely, you know, ride the shit out of it just in case I binned it. So, you know, but it was very flickable, went through the mountain quite nice. I mean, it's not a huge amount of turns, 3 or 4 turns as you come up through the mountain in Canunga. But it was nice, you know. It's got a super tall first gear, so depending on how you see that, it could be a little bit interesting if you're riding in peak hour traffic. Like I said, I mean, at idle it sort of, you know, it wants to do 20 k's an hour sort of thing in first gear at idle. That kind of really tall first gear. I don't know if that would be a priority. It just depends on, I guess, what you're using the bike for. According to this, at the moment it's using 6.4 litres of fuel per 100 k's. Now, that's a bit hard to judge because I don't know how Paul rides. I know he does, you know, some long trips and some very short trips, so I've seen other Triumph 1050s, like Sprint ST 1050s that I've had about 5.5, and to put that in perspective, to compare it to my CBR 250R, which does lots of, well, this ride, which is lots of high speed riding, it uses about 4 litres per 100, so there's that. Now, these are not issues, but these are just things I noted yesterday on my ride home. It actually comes out of the looks department. The fact that it's got an undertail exhaust, very nice look. I love the look of the undertail exhaust, but one of the setbacks of having an undertail exhaust is it does warm the seat up. And considering it wasn't hot yesterday afternoon, like I was on the bike about 6 o'clock at night, and it would have been on those low 20s. And I wasn't saying, I want to get off, but it was getting quite warm under the tail, so yeah, it gets warm under the seat from the undertail exhaust. Yeah, but that would be the absolute worst thing about the bike. Other than that, it's nice to ride. I mean, there's not too much. The screen does a fairly good job of protecting you. Most of the wind feels like it is actually probably hitting me just on the top of the helmet. There's definitely nothing on my chest. There's a little bit over the top of my shoulders, but that's it. So it does a fairly good job. There's hardly any wind on my knee, on my legs. Like I've got the blood jeans on, they're not flapping around in the wind like they do on my CBR. No, that's about it. So, look, if it was, would I buy one? For me, no. I'm not going to go, for me, on 110 kilometre round trip every day, it's not for me. It's, for me, it's a bit big. Like it's physically it's a large, big bike. So it's a bit big. It's still a bit, for me, on the aggressive side, like leaning forward. You know, who would I recommend it to? I mean, I don't know, people that aren't as lazy as me, who actually sit up properly when they ride and won't put their weight, won't put them, you know, their weight on their wrists when they ride. Maybe people that might not have the long, or people that might not have the long commute that I have really. It's, even though it's a sports touring bike, it's very much, like a lot of the reviews have said, it very much leans towards the sports side of sports touring. So, you know, me personally, this is all personal opinion, for me it would be great for the shorter trips, you know, half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. But I'm sure if you wanted to, I mean, it's the kind of bike that you could do a long trip on. But yeah, alright, that's about all. Yeah, Aussie Moto Matt out.